so what we see here today is a video that I created about an hour ago. As you can see from the timing up here, this was created about an hour ago. And the point of this recording is to show you how I'm going to take this piece of content that I created here today, and I'm going to turn it into a couple of different pieces of content so that I am basically multi-purposing, or repurposing as the word is used, this content across different stages. Now, you're not gonna see me put this across different places, but you're gonna see me create the actual content for it, and then I will start posting that on the schedule that I have for these individual pieces of content. So you're gonna see me take this Facebook live stream, and you're gonna use a piece of software called Descript. You're also gonna see me use a software called Canva. And let's see, is there anything else I want to use there? No, there's nothing else I want to use there. So those are the two pieces you're gonna see me use. And right now I'm recording this on Camtasia. You could be using ScreenFlow or whatever piece of software that you have for screen recording. Okay, but you don't necessarily need that for you creating this content. This is just me for this recording, and I want to give you the software that I have while I was in the mood. Okay, so first, what we're gonna do is I'm going to open this video up, and it's going to start playing. So I need to mute it when it comes up, or pause it. All right, and then I go to these three dots over here in the corner and download the video. All right. I don't know why it's still playing. All right, so I have this document here on Evernote that I use to take all of my content and keep it all organized for each piece of content. So what I'm gonna first do is, I don't have a title initially for this piece of content here. So I'm just gonna put like, how to find the time to write your book. Okay, there's a simple title, and I may change that title later on when I actually go to post it. So I'm gonna copy that, Control C, and then I'm gonna go into the folder where I save all this stuff at. Right there. Go up one, create a new folder. V. And I like to put the date in which I create this stuff. I'm gonna select all, and I'll copy that because I may need that naming multiple times. Hit enter again to open that up, and rename this video. And instead of the date here, I'm gonna put raw, so I know this is the initial version of this. I want that turned off, paused. Okay, there we go. All right, so now you see it's downloaded down here, okay? So what I'm going to do now is go into Descript. I'm going to create a new project. Now this Descript software here that I'm using, I like to use this because it edits by taking by transcribing the document, or excuse me, just transcribing the audio or the video, and from the transcript is how you actually are going to create your video, okay? The edited version of the video, because you're just going to edit the words in the transcript, which then the software translates to deleting and editing the actual video or audio. You're gonna see that in just 1 second. Let me get the document opened up, or the file opened up. I don't know why I keep saying document. Anyway, I'll grab this one. Boom, and let me shrink this up so I can get this to where I can see what's going on here. All right, choose a file to transcribe. That's what I was trying to do. That's me working on a course. You guys will see not too long from now. All right, so let's upload this video. So it's going to add the file here, and then it's going to start transcribing that. This video, as it is 25 minutes long. I'm going to pause this audio in just 1 second while that transcribes, and we'll come back and finish it up once it's finished transcribing. You know what? We're not going to pause. We're going to go through the next step while we're doing that. While that's doing its transcribing right now, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to copy this information here from the headline, the value statement, the action, make Control C, and then I'm going to go down here for the description. Boom, I'm going to paste that in as the description. All right, and I don't need to have the value in here. So this makes it easy for me to create the post for this if I were going to share it. If this were in a live stream, then that would be what I'd put in the description for uploading it onto social media, or Facebook or Instagram or whatever maybe. That would be the content that I'd be the description I'd attach to this video. Okay. Once we finish editing the video, I'll put the link to the video here under video. Timestamps, we're going to find a couple spots in here. I know this, I want to highlight, of course, these 3 steps. And I also want to highlight the goal achievement tool. So I want to copy all of that and put it down here. I'm not going to use all those texts, but it's just simpler to just put it all down here. And I'm going to remove that time check, so we can leave that there. We can then move this up because that'll be the 4th point, and then can remove that and put secret to goal achievement. Boom. And then let's go ahead and capitalize this while it's here. And you may be wondering why I'm doing this. What ends up happening here is once we go through this audio, as it goes through and finishes transcribing, then what's going to end up happening is I can find the timestamps for the exact places where I say these lines, say these statements are going to these points. And now when I put the timestamp here in front of it, what's going to happen when you upload it to YouTube is it's going to automatically create those little stamps that you see in your YouTube videos. So you don't have to go in there and find it. It's going to automatically the software on YouTube's going to know what it is. It's a time, and then it's going to find that spot in the audio, in the video, and make it so it becomes a clickable link for whoever's watching the video. That's kind of cool. So now you get to see that. All right. And I could make one more here. Depending, I'm gonna do one more. I usually just do 5. Sometimes I usually do 4 to 6. Let me put it that way. And we're gonna make this how I found time to write. Boom, because I go through all three of my books. I'll put a little space here. Boom, because I'm gonna put the timing in there. Okay. Now, if I weren't having so much demand on my software right now, I would go into Canva and go ahead and start editing the cover image. But right now, this is already ready. So I don't necessarily need this video up here, but as you can see, the transcript is done. And I don't need this beginning part. Today's boom, there we go, muted. All this stuff is what I was getting ready for the video. So I'm actually going to remove the video. So I'm gonna hide the video because it's in the way. You can move faster with more content on the screen. Okay, cool. Just get in there and mute it. Excellent. There we go. There. So right there is where I started. Are you having trouble finding time to focus on writing the book? And notice down here at the bottom where I put this cursor, it found it on the actual timeline for the video. I'm going to take this and highlight everything above it. And then I'm going to delete it. Now, the good thing about what I just did is that I'm only deleting what is on what I'm trying to create right now. I'm only deleting what's on here. I still have the raw version. Remember, I didn't do anything with that. And that should be capitalized. I don't know why it didn't capitalize. So I'm going to change that real quick. Correct. Boom. You don't have to necessarily do that. This is going to be a transcript. You don't necessarily have to change any of that right now. All right. So now what I'm going to do now is I know when I finished lesson or point 1 that I paused and said, let me take a look at the comments. So I don't want to keep that part in the finished version I upload onto YouTube. So I'm going to look for that. I was working a side job. Okay, not there yet. And if I want to take a little quick peek, and let's see, I'm looking for number 1, time tracking. Okay, so I can hit Control F if I want to and hit time tracking to try to find that spot in the text. There it is. Boom. So I know now, okay, there's 3 steps in the process, time tracking. So what I want to do right now is I'm going to put a slash in here. Nope, not right there, because that's going to be time. That's get introduction. That's the introduction to what I'm going to say. When I first got into time tracking, my first author. Okay. Number 1. There we go. Number 1. I'm going to make a new line, and then I'm going to separate that. Boom. I'm going to find number 2. Okay, so number 1 is time tracking. All right. Do we have any questions right there? Let me see if I can check. We don't see any questions right now, so I'll move on. So right there, I don't need that, so I'm going to delete it. Boom, that section is gone. I'm gonna put a little section there so I know number 2 is starting right there. And there's a reason for doing that. These are creating clips, areas where I can start my clips. Okay, so I'm planning ahead of time. And I'm just putting a little slash there. So now we're moving up to number 3. So I pause right here. Do we have any questions? I can delete here. So I'm going to move on to number 3. And boom, delete all of that. Put a little slash in there to create that section, that timestamp. And I think I need to go back up here to this one and check something. Okay, we're good. Boom. And then where did I say the next time track spot was? I wanted to be at, okay, if then statement. So I'm gonna come down here, see if I said pause again. Right there's if then statements. If-then statements. Oh, I'm not looking for if-then statements. I'm looking for co-writing groups. My bad. Okay. co-writing groups. Did I ask for if sounds good though? Maybe on psychological principles, I use them to my clients and I'm one bonus I want to give you. So I didn't do anything right there, but I want to say here's what I give you is this. There are co-writing groups. Boom. So there's another one that talks about the co-writing groups. And finally, the secret to goal achievement. I'm going to come there to Gail Matthews. Right there, Gail Matthews. Boom. So I've now marked all 5 because that's where the whole document itself over here, this first one. But then 2, 3, 4, and 5, 2 through 6 right here are all 5 of these points. How I found time to write. So I need to do one more, right? And that goes to each one of the books. Okay. Right there. Boom. Got it. So now, each one of those is, as a matter of fact, I'm going to drop that down to the next line so I see where it is. So now I've already edited out the front section that was introduction. I also got to the end of this and I kind of just blabbled and talked and saw, let me check the comments and see if anybody else had anything to say. So I want to get that stuff done, and that comes right after I say I'm going to talk to y'all next time. Boom. From there on, I don't need any of the rest of this. So let's trim the end of it. There we go. So now we got this video you see down here in the bottom is down to 22 minutes. That's fine. That audio is just, the video is just fine at that length. Cool. Now, what I want to do now is add some simple transitions in here. Now, I'm not going to necessarily go through and teach you guys how to do transitions on here. That's not what this is about. So at this point, I can take this content and just publish this. I can publish it right here, export what I have as a YouTube video. Or I can go one step further and add transitions in there. I don't necessarily have a bunch of transitions in my videos on YouTube, so I'm not necessarily going to do that all the time, but I kind of want to for this one, so I'm going to leave this as it is right now. What I can do also is I can go to these different sections. For this number 1, time tracking, I can copy this section to see how much is in there and decide, all right, that is, I want to turn that section, I'm gonna highlight it all. And where's my highlighter at? Oops. And I'm going to copy that whole section. I'm gonna go up here and create a whole nother little section. This is number 1. What is that? Number 1, which is time tracking to get clarity. So before I do that, I'm just going to actually do like this. I'm going to do it faster. I'm just going to hit Control V and paste that in there. So it just took that whole section. And now guess what I can do with that? I'm going to highlight this, Control C, go back to the where I was, and I'm going to put the title in there. Boom. So now that becomes, that can now chop this up into a reel on that point number 1. So now I go back to the original one and I do it again. Where's section 2? Point number 2, double click on it, then right click. I'm going to copy, put it over here, as a new composition. Click here, Control V. And while that's bringing it over here, I'm gonna get the highlight for this one. That's what this one's talking about. So we're going to the top, and I could chop that up again and turn it into a reel or TikTok or whatever you want to use it for. Okay. Go back up here. Sometimes you want to, there we go. Boom. There's my next point, the third step. Right click, copy. So now we're going to create the next one. Boom. Then I'm going to go back up here to the original video. Do I want to do one more here? We can do one more. Boom, because this is where we talked about the bonus on how to use groups, writing groups. So I'm gonna use that, copy that, turn it into another little piece here. Boom. I'll do one more, and that is the secret to goal achievement. Put that in here. Boom. All right, so go back up here. Now this time it's going to have all of it, right? It's going to have all of the, I don't know why it keeps doing that. This one's going to have the closing in it also, and that's okay. I could chop off the closing, but that's okay. I'm gonna leave it in there because I can edit it over here when I turn it into the reel. There we go. Done. The final, and so at this point, I would just chop up this video into how I were into a 1 minute reel. See, it's at 3 minutes right now. So I just go in there and just get the highlights from here. I'm not going to show you how to do that. You can create your own reels. And as I said, I can, when I edit this one, or when I take the full video and I go ahead and just publish this, it'll have that to be saved as a full video for YouTube. But it takes a minute to do that rendering, so we're not going to see that right now. What I will do is go up here to the top, take one more thing here. I'm going to take this title, Command C, and I'm going to go into, back up here and go into Canva very quickly and show how I'm gonna turn this into a cover image. Now, you can create multiple screenshots from your video and turn them into these cover images, or you can go immediately into creating something from the templates that they have here on Canva. I'm going to, I wanted that to open up. I don't know why it didn't open up. There we go. Projects. All right. As a matter of fact, I'm going to close the script down so this moves a little faster right now. That takes up some bandwidth. And YouTube thumbnails, I'm going to click on that. So already, as you notice, there's going to be some templates already on here. Usually I have about 3 pictures that I may use for the thumbnail and come up with to try to decide which one I want to use. Okay. So they're going to pop up in here for me to use those. Now, what I'm going to do is I've also started creating these where I'm not even doing any of that. So I don't know which one I'm going to use. More than likely, I'm going to use this one, something like this. And let's find a different image. Scroll over here. Find my daily fortune. I'm going to go into images that I've uploaded, and let's go to I'm gonna use this one, I think. All right, so I need to take that image, put it in there, and then I'm going to click on the image and I'm going to edit the image because I need to remove that background. So let's remove the background from the image. And the reason why I'm using this one is because obviously it's like, how do I find the time? So I'm gonna use this one where I got my hands on my face looking distraught. Let's see how good a job this does pulling the background out of there. All right, and double click. I mean, apply, double click to shift this over a little bit so I can get the whole thing in there, something like that. Boom. And then we're going to change the title to can't find the time to write. Question mark, boom, and let's open that up a little bit so that it fits. Follow these 3 steps. And let's move that over just a little bit. Boom. And I don't necessarily want these images on here, and I want to change that background color on that from orange, since this is my other business. I'm going to use gold. We're going to use gold there. And we're going to use, am I going to use black there? Do I want to use black? I'm going to use black there. Let's see what black looks like. Okay. And I don't necessarily need those, that, and that. And let's go to I think I want to make that a little bit bigger. Let's make that a little bigger. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, and let's shift that over just a little bit. Boom. Let's take that to black. All right. Last thing I do, I'm gonna add an element here, and I think I just want a clock. Big old clock. And let's go to graphics. And I kind of want like a worried clock or a distressed clock. That would be kind of cool to put in there, but yeah, something like that. But I don't know if I like those colors. Those are not my colors. So Go to my color profile, change that one, that one. Look at how easy that is. Haha. All right. And let's turn it a little bit. It's not the best one, and I may change it a little bit after this, but there we go. It's something like that. And of course I'm going to play around with that because I don't necessarily like that trim. That's a little dark. That's better. I like that better. All right. So I play around with that and see how I'm gonna end this. This is gonna end up. I don't know how it's gonna end up, but there we go. I would save this. Here, hit and share. Download that, and when you download it, you want to download it as a JPEG, so JPG, and probably want to go to your full quality, and make sure you use the same naming. The naming. Oh, nope, I don't want to do all that. So I didn't select a video. I didn't select which one I wanted to do. So I'm gonna cancel that. All right, so yes, make sure you select the image you want to use if you have multiple on here. And this is number 8, so I only want the current one. Boom, boom, done. There we go. And that should pop up much quicker now. All right. There we go. Oh, I don't have my title highlighted. See? And then I'm going to call this cover 1. There's the title. Boom. So there we go. One last thing. I'm going to take this image over to here and paste it in the images. Just dragging and dropping it into images. So now I have it all in one spot. Okay. As you see, I have transcript down here and I forgot to do that, and we'll wrap this video up here because we're getting long enough. Just need you to open. Forgot to do that. Let me put you back over here. All right, so for this video, I'm going to hit publish and then export, but I'm going to tell it to be, I need right here, change it to transcript, and I'm going to copy to the board, and I'm going to put this transcript down here at the bottom. Boom. So there's the full transcript that I could use for the blog post or anything else I need to put in there. Okay. Let me copy this up here again. Now, if I were done with this, if I was going to use it as it is, I would go to subtitles, and then I'm going to export. And for a lot of the naming of these, you're going to want to put the date right here, 2023. That's just my own naming thing. But you want to add this at the end before the SRT. You're going to put .en _ capital US if you're in the US, obviously. And that's what's going to give it the English, US English. And so when you upload that to Facebook or anything else, it automatically knows what language it's coming from. And it's because it'll recognize that naming structure and upload it to YouTube and to Facebook and so forth properly with the right transcription, because I can go through and edit this transcription if I wanted to. All right, there you go. I'm going to wrap that up right there. That's how I create that in multiple streams, multiple repurposing. So there's all the different tracks I could use here to turn it into those lives, to the reels or little clips or whatnot I want to use. I can then also take the full video here, which will be rendered after I finish recording this here now. You saw how I created the description here very quickly, copying and pasting that down here. I may want to add on here like thought fortune from a hashtag. You don't necessarily need as many hashtags nowadays. And this might be productivity. Right, there we go. And then we might have time management, might be another one to add on there. Boom, that's good. I would also go in there and find these spots. Since I already have them in here, I can go like to spot number 1. This is where we got started. That's at the 3 minutes and 7 seconds. So I'm going to put 3 minutes, 7 seconds. Boom, boom. Time tracking. Boom. I'm going to go here. Find where time tracking is. That is at 9 minutes and 32 seconds. And that's going to automatically, when this gets copied and pasted into the YouTube description, it's going to automatically transcribe that into links to those exact spots in the video. You didn't have to do anything. It does it for you. That's at 13:48. Boom. Think I did this all right. Yep, we're good. Right on time. That's 17:41. And then the secret is at 18:50. There we go. And that's a wrap. That's all goes, all this gets copied and pasted into, all this gets copied and pasted into the YouTube description, along with some other little tidbits on how to get to your website or whatever else you're promoting in the video. There you go. Done.